Hey guys, it's Tyler and welcome back to Pandora. This is Borderlands 2. Borderlands 2 is an FPS ARPG sort of hybrid game. It's fairly unique in that pretty much the only game I can think of quite like it is Borderlands 1. You may think of games like, say, Fallout 3 in New Vegas. Those are definitely FPS RPGs, but they're in a different sense. This is more of an ARPG, kind of like Torchlight Diablo style. So, this game is very similar to the first. Let's just start off with that. If you didn't like the first game, you probably won't like this one. This isn't going to make you enjoy Borderlands if you didn't already. It's more of the same, but in a very good way, because it's essentially superior in every aspect to the original. The PC version of this is great. They released that whole love letter from Claptrap thing to PC gamers saying, we are sorry for what we did the first time around, that it was a crap port, and it was, and that we were going to do a much better job this time. Well, it turns out they did. There are a lot of options, lots and lots of options for the PC version. You can even change the scale of your HUD. There is an FOV slider. You've got tons of resolutions. You can actually change the way frame rate is. You can cap it at various numbers or just keep it uncapped entirely. Lots of options for, everything. FXAA. It even has physics. And the physics is fairly well optimized. I don't have a beastly computer, and I can run this with everything maxed out. Physics going on. I use a quad-core processor at 3.2 and a GTX 560 Ti from NVIDIA, the 2 gig variant. So it's not a super amazing computer, but it's nice enough. And, well, yeah, it can run this just fine. This is a fairly new thing here. This allows you to customize the look of your character, which is actually pretty cool. This is not something that was in the original. I'm playing Zero, the assassin, because he looked pretty cool. And I was right. Some people have said that he's kind of underpowered and that his ability compared to others isn't quite as useful. I would have to disagree. I find it awesome. I think it's pretty fun to use. There are 4 classes, each play very differently, have their own kind of specializations, but they did get rid of the weapon skill system that was in the first, meaning there isn't any character that excels with any particular type of weapon in general. That doesn't really happen. So we're going to fast travel to the fridge, because there are some quests waiting for us there. As you can see, this world is actually pretty huge. Lots of places to go. Constant side quests of various types. Some are not necessarily so good. They're kind of your standard fetch quest affair, but most of them are enjoyable enough because, well, you get to shoot things, and that's what this game is all about, shooting things and getting loot. The only complaint I have to address towards this game's PC port is the fact that you will be spending a lot of time in this, yes, because you're going to be comparing your loots with your old loots, and you're just going to be in here a lot. And it could control better with a mouse. It actually is fairly fit for a controller, but it's definitely usable with a mouse. It's just occasionally it's a little clunky here and there, and it's not the best, but it's definitely it's perfectly playable. It's not like it's in the way of you playing it properly or anything. And of course, this does have mouse acceleration and aim assist off by default, thank God. So you don't have to worry about that. We are going to look at all of these machines and see what I may or may not want to buy, because we are terrible people. Okay, I think we're good. The main sort of feature of this game, as well as the original, was that there are tons of guns. Yes, just randomly generated types of guns all over the place. That is, the main draw of the loot is that there are just a million variants of guns. And in this version of the game, well, they pretty much fucktupled the number of guns you can get. There are a ton of random variants for all kinds of different things. I am doing terrible damage to this guy. As you can see, this is an assault rifle minigun, because why not? And there you can see the beautiful physics effects in action with the the debris and stuff flying all over the place. It also works with like magma and acid barrels of stuff like that, and when you have guns with elemental effects that splash all of this stuff around all over the place. Yeah, we're going to toss a grenade in their general direction, I think. Maybe do that. No! Slash A! Grenade! Have fun. You know you want it. They don't really seem impressed. As you can see, I've got 4 different guns that all do various things, including shoot bullets, which is probably the least common type of gun on Pandora, or the kinds that shoot bullets. There are just so many. I mean, of course, that being the main draw of the game, they're going to try and make sure that there's lots of variety there. They have singularly succeeded in every respect when it comes to that. There is so much variety. I'm not liking this. Use my special skill, which will allow me to utterly destroy one of these guys in a single hit. Iridium, let's see. Alright, yeah, you're dead, I hope, eventually, at some point in the future. Come on. Quit that. Jeez. Not an easy game, necessarily. The co-op for this game is very, very good, but that actually brings me to another complaint, that being, once you get 3 or 4 people in this game, the enemies start to sponge up shots really badly, and that's not the most fun thing in the world. I mean, with like certain very tough enemies and bosses and the like, of course you're going to want the fight to last for quite some time. They're going to be taking lots of hits. That's standard. I mean, that's expected. But just due to the nature of the co-op and the way enemies scale, once you get about 4 people, which is the max, sometimes 3 depending on the level, but I'd say 4 definitely, for sure. These guys pick up guns on the ground, which is actually worrying. The enemies get really bullet spongy. They will soak up your shots like no one's business, and that's just the standard enemies. Like these guys I'm facing right now would be taking headshot after missed shot without going down at all. How did that miss? I am obviously the world's worst shot. Oh man, let's shatter the poor innocent people. But that's a fairly minor complaint, I'm gonna have to say, because you don't have to play the game like that. That's not the way the game is normally. Just play it with 1 friend or 2, you should be fine. Some people don't mind the bullet spongy nature of that, and some people don't really see it as this big problem. I personally don't like it, and I know several who certainly don't. But that's just something you've got to be aware of, I feel. Ooh, grape jelly. Nom nom nom. Okay. Looks like they've forgotten about me. I'm tempted just to waste a rocket launcher shot on them, but I know I shouldn't actually do that. Your head is sort of gone. The guns are so satisfying to use. The shooting has been tightened up a bit from the original, which had, I mean, the shooting in the original was fine anyway, but I feel that it's been tightened up a bit. I think it might have to do with just the variety of the guns in general. There are just a lot of different types, and they all do actually feel quite unique. I mean, there's a lot of variety there, so in order to make them all feel, that's a badass, that's not good. That is not good for me. But in order to make them all feel different enough to make you want to experiment with them and things, I mean, they've definitely succeeded in that. Now, the story aspect of Borderlands has never really been what it's about. It's about killing people and getting their guns. But this time around, the story is vastly improved over the original. There are much better characters, and of course everybody knows about Handsome Jack. He's quite a good villain, and there is lots of puerile, sort of toilet humor in this game. But, I mean, come on, I don't care how old you are, how mature you think you are, you're never fully above dick jokes. And there are lots of those in this game, so, you're dead, son. Ouch. Sorry about that. That's actually... I didn't mean to kill you quite that badly. I've definitely got to say, I think they spent about half the development time and budget into boxes. There are some really cool containers that open in kind of neat ways. It makes the whole, here's your loot presentation, like, even better when the chests open up in such a cool way. A girly magazine. The cold shoulder. Classy. It says, girly magazine, huh? That is a bit of a broken radio. Let's not smack the explosive barrel, even though my brain really wants me to for some stupid reason. Easy hand cannon. Yeah. There are enough guns in this game, enough variety to just keep you going through various playthroughs, honestly. And the classes do definitely play differently because they each have their own skill trees. As you can see, I'm level 21. That's quite a gun that fell out of that guy. There is a level up system, an experience system. It's, you know, very ARPG style with the whole skill trees and all that. I'll go ahead and actually show you that right now. Skill tree. Look at all this. So everyone has a certain active skill. Mine is the whole deception thing. It makes me invisible, and then the longer I stay invisible as the timer goes down, I get a huge boost in damage. It's like a big burst damage thing. So usually what you do is your clone distracts them, you sneak up behind someone and wait for the skill to be almost counted down to nothing, and then you strike. I do have to say I wish they did more with this. I think they could have made some really cool, lots of more active skills instead of just passives. I mean, more zoom, more steadiness, critical hit damage, reload speed. That's all fine, but it's not particularly exciting. I mean, they could have done a lot more, I feel. I was kind of hoping they would, because the original Borderlands did have this issue, the fact that just the skill system was kind of ambiguous. It was mostly passives. Everyone only has one active, and although it's unique to each class, that's really all they get, and it could be more exciting. There are some cool ones, like say this Death Blossom thing. While I'm invisible, I press F and I throw explosive kunai with random elemental damage. That's cool. I mean, let's do more of that. I'm not sure where I get kunai on Pandora, but that doesn't matter. But yeah, I mean, more of that. That's cool. You know, we want stuff like that. So it's unfortunate that they didn't flesh that out more in this version of the game. But the weapon system and the various classes that are available still do feel quite good, quite different. And there's variety within the classes, a few different playstyles for each one, depending on the kinds of weapons that you want to use. I mean, as you can see, there were various trees there for kind of pistol and sniper types of weapons and things like that. So yeah, there's still subcategories in there that allow you to play in different ways, but I just feel that it could be better. According to my map, there are other suggestive reading magazines around here somewhere. It's an optional objective, which means I must complete it. So let's try and find some more. Ooh, a relic. Sniper rifle damage. How did I miss that? What's my current relic? Max health. That's kind of nice. I don't think that's enough sniper rifle damage to warrant me getting rid of my health boost relic. Oh well. We are going to try and find more of these very classy magazines. There's one. Yeah, there's one more. Searching for some porn, la 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 la. I wonder what my neighbors think of hearing this. Stuff. Stuff. As you can tell, as Borderlands is definitely known for, there you are. It has a very unique graphic style indeed. That being, it's got this sort of cel-shaded filter applied over semi-realistic renders and textures. So it gives it a pretty unique appearance that only really this game has pulled off. It's pretty cool looking, and it obscures the fact that in some places the texture quality isn't the best, but it's not crap. Definitely, it's fairly good. But with this sort of filter overlaid upon it, I mean, it looks fine. It's actually a pretty good looking game overall. Everything cranked up to max. It's definitely better looking than the console version is. That was a lot of money. So, I mean, it's clear they put love and attention into this version, as opposed to the PC port of the first Borderlands, where they most assuredly did not, unfortunately. But they redeemed themselves. There will be a link in the description to check this out on Steam, if you wish, and you should. if you haven't already. There is lots of DLC for this game, yeah, lots and lots of DLC. But from what I've heard, they aren't bad. They're all actually... That was a grenade. They're all actually quite good. I don't have first-hand experience with the DLCs, I've got to say, but I will say that if you want to pick one up, I would check out Gage the Necromancer. That's a whole new class to play, and she's pretty cool. The Necromancer's fun. Let's see what kind of loot we got. Shield, shield, and is that... No, mine's way better. That's okay. These things are a pain in the butt to deal with. You've got to shoot the crystals on their legs. That's the only spot you can damage them. So yeah, as you can tell, the enemy design in this game is actually pretty cool. There's lots of character and animation to the enemies. They're very neat. They're, just like in the original with the whole skag thing, you know, there are skags of various sorts. There are these, oh, what are they called? Bullymongs that you'll be facing. There's just, the game oozes character from pretty much everywhere. As gross as that sounds, it definitely does. Uh-oh. Okay. You're a terrible shot. So am I, but you're more terrible. The actual characters themselves, of course, there's Handsome Jack. The characters from the original Borderlands, the classes, they all make a reappearance in this game, and they're pretty cool. Mordecai's a funny drunk that shoots things for fun, which is standard. The Siren, she's back. Lilith is awesome. Yeah, there's a lot of character here. Even the enemies, just the generic enemies that you'll be facing the whole time, have enough character to make you laugh sometimes at some of the lines they spout. There's a lot of cultural references in this game. You'll find everything from a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles quest to a Minecraft cave complete with creepers and pixelated graphics. There's tons of stuff. I mean, a lot of the weapons and items and stuff you'll find have references to various things, you know. It's just pop culture all over the place. There are so many references you can't even begin to count them. And I'm just a terrible, terrible shot, apparently. So we'll use rockets that you don't have to aim. Die! Apparently you do have to aim them. Well, that's unfortunate. Gotcha. Okay. I like my Merv grenades, thank you. And my slag rockets. Purple rockets are best rockets. Be on fire! Oh, wow. So, you've probably decided by now, just from all of the news this game has garnered, whether or not you're interested. If it doesn't appeal to you, the original one didn't appeal to you, then I've got to say, honestly, there's not a lot of difference here to make you say, oh, well, but, you know, I might try that. Physics, you're so beautiful. I love you. Anyway, yeah, there's just, it's better in every respect, but it is very similar, in my opinion, at least. So that is something to bear in mind. If it just doesn't appeal to you, that's completely understandable, and there's probably not much here for you if it's not your thing. But definitely you should probably give it a try if it looks interesting to you, because it's a lot of fun. There's so much loot. Some very genuinely funny characters, some interesting moments. The story is definitely better than the original. It seems quite a bit longer as well. The season pass for the DLC will allow you to get just tons of content, tons extra content. There is enough in this game definitely to keep you busy for quite some time. And the replay value is extremely high because, oh god, because of the variety in classes and the fact that loot is always different. And more physics again with delicious bile. Die! No! Whoa. These things are kind of adorable in a scary alien tripod kind of way. Boom! Ow. What the heck is going on? Oh, hello. I've got purple rockets for you. Enjoy. That does crap damage. That's just great. That's me! See? Look, it's me. Look how beautiful I am. Gotcha. I missed. That's not good. So yeah, that's Borderlands 2, everybody. If you're interested, there will be a link. Go on Steam, buy it, play it, enjoy. And if you've got some friends that would be interested, definitely would recommend. It's quite a fun co-op experience. It's not limited whatsoever, and there's all kinds of fun to be had here. So enjoy. I'll see you guys next time. You are just an infuriating little... No. Ah!